Yep. It's not as straightforward as that, but yeah, the thinking is obviously as I said in the post-match, that if you have the bowling attack that we would like, then it's easy to go with the 7 batters because we don't have the bowling attack that we'd like at the moment with the one injury. We feel like we need to add a little bit more batting. So that takes us to the team where we play the 2 all-rounders, and that's obviously why we brought him in. Andy's already there, Dwayne Pretorius already there, but the thinking is to try and somehow keep an eye on, as I said, thinking forward. We have to make a decision on one of the all-rounders over the next 6 games. So it's 1 more tomorrow and then 5 against Sri Lanka. So the time's getting a little bit shorter now and making sure we pick whoever that's going to be. So we're trying to see how we can fit him in. Obviously balance is a important question there because Dwayne has been in with the squad and Delia has also done relatively well. So that's what still needs to happen.
If you talk about balance, how difficult is it to plug new players and still get results?
Well, you have to make sure that your focus is not on. Obviously, we would love to win every game that we play, but there is a bigger picture for us, and I think that's been very, very clear over the last year. We've certainly not always picked the team that people has expected or the most experienced guys. It's about getting young guys opportunity to play. Even the plan before this series was to have an idea of who's going to be the closer to the starting 11. But then you have someone like Rassi, who shoots the lights out through the Mzansi League, and just it's a good opportunity to look at him, and he comes into international cricket and he does well, and that's great for him. But it's also tough on selection around the group because there's other guys that Aiden Markram has another opportunity this series, so it makes life a little bit harder in terms of selection. But we're trying to make sure that we give guys a fair run in playing games, so you don't just get one game and then stop, because that's your best opportunity is when you get a good run of 4 or 5 games in a row. So that's how we're trying to do it, but it is quite tough at the moment.
Sorry, Faf, you're speaking about there's a 1-5 here, 3, 1, 2, 3 basically.
Yeah.
Would you prefer that 1-5 is 5 and 6?
Well, there is. Klaasen is also 5 and 6. He's not in the squad at the moment, so I suppose he can add a little bit more pressure on making sure there's more players in the middle that can get selected in terms of those places. But at the moment, with the current squad that we have, there's a lot of pressure on 2 and 3. Not pressure, options on 2 and 3, and it's limited. We've never had so many options in that position, and I think that's why me moving to 4 right now makes a little bit more sense, because all the other guys are 1, 2, 3 players. But yeah, that's why Rassi, he's batted 5 in the previous game. It's about also growing his game. When you play international cricket, there's a lot of gears that you have to go through as a batter. And although I know he bats 4 for the Lions domestically as well, I suppose batting him at 3 in the first 2 games, he did really well. So the obvious thing would be for him to stay. But if you leave him there, then Risa and Ash can't play together in the same team. So it's about trying to give everyone an opportunity to stake their case and to see who takes that opportunity the best.
Did you take your 2 pictures of Afrikaans?
Not yet. Not yet, okay. I'm sure you had a look at the wicket. Are you happy? Pace and bounce, nice spin?
I was hoping that to have that at Wanderers as well. It looks a good wicket, bit more bounce in it. Generally, it's a very good one-day wicket here, so I'm expecting the same.
Bat first or second?
We'll decide that when that toss goes up.
So, Faf, with regards to the squad selection for the World Cup, when is the cut-off for you guys to say, okay, this is our
Yeah, I think what you see is you have to be flexible. We didn't plan, certainly the plans was for the 3 fast bowlers to be fit. And then that almost determines the rest of your team, or your balance of your team. So with that change happening, we needed to be flexible. So obviously in the first game, play the two all-rounders together. We felt that we needed another bowling option. We tried that with Paro as well and with Bjorn coming in. But what I said, so obviously it leaves, now you feel like your batting is a little bit light because you don't have that potent bowling attack that we had in Australia. In Australia we bowled them out 3 times in a row on flat wickets with 3 attacking fast bowlers. So certainly what I've seen is you have to be flexible and making sure that you're going to have to see what happens, who's fit, who's injured, and then you play it from there. Because if you set your mind on something, it can change quickly. And if one injury or something else happens, it changes the whole balance of our squad.
Guys, last 2 questions. We're going to use the 30 minutes we've been given. So Zahir and then Craig.
Just on tomorrow's game, same so with Stu Shay was it's a season side, it's against a big side, Champions Trophy holders. How much would you take if you out of it going towards the World Cup if you get over the line tomorrow?
Yeah, I mean it sounds very cliche, but he mentioned it. It's about, for me, it's finding out how we play big games better, and that's by not by making it anything bigger than it already is. And obviously it is a big game, but as I said, it's something that when we do make it a big thing, we possibly don't bring the best out of ourselves as a team. So for me, it's about, once again, freeing up the guys to go out there and express themselves in whatever way they wanted to, not to see it as a huge game where they need to play differently. It's really just letting them go. But in saying that, in the last 2 years we've played really well in these sort of scenarios. You know, we want to test ourselves every time when it's a series decider. We as a team have stepped up. So at least there is moving forward in that direction. We are winning those games, which is a huge plus point for me. So we'll just try and hopefully do the same against a very, very strong team tomorrow.